All right, time out with Michael and Tony.
Hello.
How is everybody tonight?
I'm wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Good. Good. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks everybody who follows us. We are super excited to announce a few things tonight, which is really cool. Before we get into our episode, UFC 246 is what we're talking about. Should be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Thanks to Drama City Productions for having us. There are big people. Ben getting us up in here and making sure we can do this fun stuff. We totally like it.
Yeah.
We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Hushka, Podbean, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
Us on there, or you can watch our live stream. Usually the live stream takes about 24 hours to reboot, refinish, redo. I don't know.
Propagate to the server.
However that works, right? Yeah, UFC, Tony.
UFC, man. UFC. How long have you been a fight fan?
Man, I would say probably the better part. How old is Brooks? 12 years old. So I would say 15 years now.
Yeah.
It hasn't been huge. I remember as a little kid watching boxing.
Yeah.
With my dad. Evander Holyfield, not Muhammad Ali.
I was like, dang, man, how old are you?
What is his name? George Foreman.
George Foreman. Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I did grow up in that sort of era. So that was a lot of fun. I loved seeing that. I was just excited about that. So if you guys want to talk UFC 246, what you like about MMA, how long you've been a fan, who your favorite fighter is, throw it up on the comments. We'll throw some things up there. Real quick, want to put a sponsor out there.
Yeah.
The Shell Station in Evanston, Wyoming, across from Jody's Diner. Arjun owns that place over there. He's got a ton of great stuff over there. If you go in there anytime, mention Timeout with Michael and Tony, and you're purchasing something in there, Arjun will hook you up with a free Hershey's product, whatever you want. It could be a Hershey's chocolate bar, Reese's, anything that is with Hershey. Let Arjun know. Just mention Timeout with Michael and Tony, and he will hook you up. Thank you so much for the sponsor, Arjun and Shell. We appreciate it a ton.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool that we got a sponsor. I mean, he got, it's like, hey, you're doing really well with your podcast. I love listening to it. Anyway, we could hook up, how can I help you make that better? And I was like, I don't know. I'll just mention you. And he's like, he did a bunch of stuff. So big shout out to Arjun and Shell. So we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just helps us further what we want to do and bring more content and better content to you guys, and helps us afford all this wonderful gadget stuff. So appreciate it. So check out Shell. That's on Bear River Drive. Couldn't tell you the exact address, but it's across from Jody's Diner, right before your Pilot. And we'll mention Timeout with Michael and Tony, and Arjun will hook you up.
Yeah.
So Antoinette asked us on the stream, what'd you think of the KC game? Wild. Did you watch it at all? Tony's not a sports guy, Antoinette. Okay, but here's the thing.
I'm not a football guy. I like sports.
Okay, not a football guy.
Not a football guy.
So KC was down, Antoinette? Like 21 points on the Texans?
Yeah.
And we're like, I bet everybody was losing their mind. They're like, what's going on? And all of a sudden they score 50 points on them, unanswered points. Like, it was unheard. Like, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
Good football this weekend, though. Good football this weekend. So we want to talk about UFC 246, and really because it's leading up to the McGregor Cerrone fight. Really big. McGregor was huge, really big, and then all of a sudden he fell off. And Cerrone's been really, really good.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he lost the fight and was like, oh dang.
Yeah.
So I'm torn. We'll get into that, but anyway, with that being said, we're going to talk about MMA and kind of what MMA is. Tony?
Yeah. So, UFC's kind of made MMA extremely popular, right? I'm sure everyone and their mother and their grandmother has heard of UFC, MMA. But for anyone who is chiming in that's never heard of it or never watched it, basically what it is, back in the day, there was a group that got together and they said, hey, what if we got a bunch of professional fighters from all of these different genres of martial arts and put them up against each other, right? And so it's basically this culmination, this cornucopia of fighting skills, if you will, in these bouts. And there's a lot of rules that are kind of around UFC now. When I was a kid watching UFC, there were not many rules, right? So, for example, they didn't really have weight classes, right?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, some of the early, man, if you want to see some crazy fights, go watch go watch the first pay-per-view of UFC. You have these tiny guys up against these massive guys, and no weight classes, no real rules. I mean, I'm trying to remember back. I remember one time watching a guy. I don't know any of their names. I mean, some of these guys were just like out of the sticks,
Oh yeah, big time.
But I remember watching this one. This guy took this guy to the ground and just began to just beat him in the groin, just over and over and over and over and over and over. So MMA, UFC, it's definitely come a long way from what it used to be. And it has a lot of backing in a lot of states and really just internationally, right? So
that debuted November 11th, 1993.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
And
that was they had Hoist Gracie, Jason DeLuca, Dan Severn.
Dan the Beast Severn, yep.
Now, wasn't it Hoist Gracie and Dan Severn that fought in the
Ken Shamrock?
Ken Shamrock
and Hoist Gracie. They were the ones that popularized kind of the animosity there. That you're not popularized animosity. They were like the first duo, right? That couldn't stand each other.
Right.
What are some of the other guys?
He submitted Shamrock. Hoist did.
He did.
And kind of what here's what I think what happened is they didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
They didn't have time limits. They didn't have rounds. They were just like, okay, hey, go out there and do your thing.
Yeah.
And it went on for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, well, let's take a break. And then everybody was like, okay, let's go for 5 more, and then Hoist ended up submitting Ken Shamrock. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
Go back and watch that and then compare it to today. Totally different ball game.
Oh, 100%, man. There was my dad's favorite fighter, and I always forget his name. He's a big Hawaiian dude. Oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me insane. Anyways, but there was a big Hawaiian guy that was my dad's favorite fighter, and he fought Ken Shamrock quite a bit. And he was in the early goings on of UFC. No, that's BJ Penn.
Right.
Man alive. Anyway, it'll come to me later. But anyways, MMA, UFC has definitely come a long way. There's a lot more rules and regulations all around it. Anybody that knows, me, I've been a fight fan since I was little, itty bitty. And so anyways, I remember
Wesley Carrera.
No.
Okay.
No. He's a Hawaiian that fought Ken Shamrock.
Eddie Yagan?
Nope. That guy right there. Chemo, number 10. Yeah. So Chemo, that was my dad's favorite fighter. Purely, he was a good fighter, but it was purely because he was from the islands and no other reason. It's the same reason why my dad, for pro wrestling, my dad was a big Jimmy Superfly Snuka fan. It's like, why? Oh, because he's from the islands. Okay. Right. So, but it's the island pride. But anyhow. So
BJ Penn was, he was really big.
Yeah. He just recently retired.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, something like that.
Here you go. People that are wondering who Tony is talking about.
Yes, Chemo
right there.
That's Chemo right there. He was a big man, big dude. He'd knock your face off. And he was just like this street fighter guy that was going up against these guys that were, masters in jiu-jitsu. And Ken Shamrock's a shoot fighter, right? And he's going up against these guys and he's basically like a street fighter kind of guy, But but yeah, I mean, I guess most of the islanders that I know some type of martial art. There's a lot of Japanese influence and all that jazz over, from the islands and all. So
Absolutely.
So there's various styles in MMA. Muay Thai. I come from a Muay Thai background. Muay Thai is my absolute favorite, right? Of pretty much all of the martial arts out there.
For those of you that don't know what Muay Thai is, to help you understand kickboxing, that's the Americanized term of Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Muay Thai gym in Thailand.
Phuket, Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai. Yeah, that's the best training camp in the world.
If you guys want to see an interesting side of Muay Thai, go to YouTube, find that video of Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah, Tiger Muay Thai.
And it'll blow your mind as to what some of these fighters go through and endure. Like it's intense.
It's amazing. It is amazing. And the thing is that they are intense all the time. There. A lot of training camps, like, they kind of vary in their intensity, but Tiger Muay Thai, their main focus is we need to make champions.
Yeah.
So we're going to fight like champions. We're going to practice like champions. And dude, they wipe the floor with each other.
When you showed me that video long ago,
yeah.
All I could think of was Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kickboxer.
Yeah.
And when he goes to Thailand and he trains with what's his face out in the sticks, like he trained champions.
Oh yeah.
And it was brutal. Like, wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Tiger Muay Thai destroyed Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kickboxer. Wrestling is another form of MMA. Again, like Tony talked about it earlier, they just wanted to pull this big, huge thing together and put all these genres of fighting.
Yeah.
And let's see what you got, because maybe a wrestler's better than a karate guy or a boxing guy, And so it was really cool. So wrestling is a big portion of a lot of fighters today, which is a little bit different than Muay Thai. Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And you see that you can tell who is a wrestler.
Sure.
Their defense is always very good. Takedown defense is always very good. They're very agile on their feet when it comes to moving around.
Yep.
And they understand. I feel like the wrestlers have a little bit better cardio because they're used to those short 3-minute match, 5-minute match,
right,
type of scenario. Which then it just blows it completely out of the water when you think about the two Diaz brothers, who probably have the best cardio in the world, and they come from a boxing background,
right? Which
is, those guys are crazy, but I love watching them fight.
Yeah,
they are so very good.
Yep,
skilled. So wrestling, and you got who'd you have? We had Brock Lesnar come in, and just a beast of a dude, big wrestler, and he just kind of he manhandled some people, but then it kind of caught up with him a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, he had to adapt to the MMA.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, I can come in here and wrestle you and stronghold you.
Yeah.
Guys were, moving away and popping him. And
yep.
Yeah.
The only guy that I've seen that was able to come in without a bunch of MMA experience was Robbie Lawler back in the day. He came in as a street fighter and he held his own. You know what I mean? Like, he adapted on the fly. You know what I mean? Like, Robbie Lawler now looks amazing, but early years Robbie Lawler, that guy, man alive. I mean, he was like a professional street fighter coming in fighting these guys that were like, 4th, 5th, 6th degree black belts and whatever their art was, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing how he handled himself.
Oh yeah. Yep. But yeah, we got boxing. We got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's huge. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of the biggest arts right now in mixed martial arts because, 9 times out of 10, unless you have two guys that stand up and fight the majority of the time, that fight at some point is going to go to the ground, right? One thing that's one really good combination to have is if you have a good wrestling background with Jiu-Jitsu or you have a good judo background with Jiu-Jitsu, those are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal combinations to have. Look at what's the McGregor fight? What's that guy's name? The Russian dude he fought. I can't remember his name.
Khabib.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, amazing wrestling skills, right? I mean, amazing ground skills. You know what I mean? Like to be able to lock somebody down to the ground where they can't move, and then you just beat them to death.
Yeah.
You know, and they can't do anything. You know what I mean?
Where do you go from there?
Exactly. Where do you go from there? If you're a master of ground game, you're a master of the fight. Like it's amazing. And then of course we've got karate. There's a handful of karate guys in there too, and you got taekwondo sprinkled around there. You got some other arts and things like that too.
I think those are the main styles that you see prominent in the MMA now.
Yeah.
And today.
Yep.
So, yeah. So that's kind of a background of MMA.
Yep.
If you didn't know about it, if you don't know about it and you are a part of sports, I don't know what rock you've been living under.
For real.
Because if you listen to podcasts or you do anything like that, you obviously listen to the Joe Rogan Experience, and I mean, he's their main guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, man. So I got to ask a question. Who's your favorite fighter of all time?
Of all time.
Who's your favorite fighter?
You can't really see it. Tattoo. It's a Florida Lee. George St. Pierre.
George, yeah. GSP, he's good. Why is he your favorite?
In George's earlier years, George was all about finding your weakness and exploiting it huge. Like when he fought Josh Koscheck, it was nothing but a jab. And he broke his orbital eye socket.
Yeah.
In his fight, and he found out what, and he punished you like that. And he lost to BJ Penn.
Yeah.
And he came back to beat him. And Matt Hughes as well. Didn't he lose to Matt Hughes?
Did he?
Kerry, come on, help me out. He had a couple losses on his
I don't know if Matt Hughes beat him.
I believe Matt Hughes did, and then he can't.
Maybe. It's been a while.
Maybe I'm. See, it's been a minute since I looked at George St. Pierre, because once he retired, and then all the steroid stuff and the contracts of moving away from, they went with Reebok as a huge sponsor, and that was a big conflict because George St. Pierre is sponsored by Under Armour, and he was like, I'm not coming out in Reebok stuff. I'm coming out in my Under Armour stuff. Right. Sorry, they pay me money. You don't. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand with sports and sports figures.
Yeah.
They probably make more, if not like, I mean, we talked about it last time, Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. Those guys don't have huge contracts and salaries in their sport, but they have huge sponsors.
Yeah.
And George had a lot of sponsors, and UFC or Under Armour being one of them. He just wasn't about to just say, sorry, I'm kicking Under Armour to the curb.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, there was a lot more to George's story, more than we have time to tonight to talk about, but
sure.
George St. Pierre. Now, my wife, Carrie, also really loved George St. Pierre. So that worked because, hey, we both liked the same fighter.
Yeah.
So I got to tell this funny little story.
Yeah, do it.
We got a fathead of George St. Pierre, and it kind of gave you a couple stickers, and then there's this lifelike size of George St. Pierre, and we put him on the bedroom wall, and he was on Carrie's side. So I sleep on the left side. I guess when you're looking at us right now, I would be over there, and I don't know. I sleep on the left side of the bed. She sleeps on the right side of the bed, and it was on there, and I went to the bathroom. I usually wake up around 2 or 3 to go to the bathroom, and go in there, and of course the room is dark. I open the door, and the bathroom light's on, and I'm getting ready to, I got to see where the bed is, because once you turn the light off, your eyes go wonky in the dark. So I go and open the door and go to turn the lights off, and I see George St. Pierre at 2 a.m. on my wall, and I freaked out. Like, I was so like, what is going on?
Right.
What are you doing in my house? George St. Pierre came off the wall that next day.
Yeah.
And never again will I have a fathead on my wall.
Sure.
Maybe somewhere else. It just freaked me out.
Yeah.
That's my story of George St. Pierre.
I want to get a fat head and put it behind the bathroom door in my house and not tell my kids that it's there. I think that would be amazing. If anybody has a fat head and would allow me to test this.
I don't have a fat head, but I have a pop out of Michael Jackson.
Oh,
and it's like life size.
Yeah.
I'll let you borrow it.
Okay. We might have to make something happen this year.
Sweet.
Yep. Let me see.
Your favorite fighter of all time?
My favorite fighter, hands down of all time, is Anderson Silva. He is my absolute favorite fighter. Oh, did you just roll your eyes?
I'll tell you why later.
Okay. I really liked Anderson Silva because I watched early Anderson Silva, right? I didn't jump on like the hype train of his undefeated streak. Like I was an Anderson Silva fan before his, really popular streak. Granted, that streak started really early in his career, right? He had a few different streaks, but anyways, I liked him because his fight style was so unique. And early on, it was very Muay Thai centric, right?
Okay.
But the fact that he could stare at you from this far away, right? 2 arms length away, and as you're staring at him, just kick you in the mouth.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, one of my favorite knockouts, I always forget that guy's name, but he's literally, they're standing toe to toe, and he hits the guy with a front snap kick square to his chin. And the guy didn't even see it coming. Like there was nothing, in Anderson's shoulders, there was no tell. Like he didn't lean into it, nothing. He just threw that foot straight up and kicked him square in the gob, and the guy just hit the ground. You know what I mean? But his strike rate accuracy was like the highest in the game what is he right now? I don't even know. Is he retired or not?
I think he's got a match coming up.
Okay, I was gonna say because he broke his leg and then he was retired, and then I saw him training, and then somebody was like, "Hey, he's fighting," and I'm like, "What?" Anyways, but yeah, no, he is hands down my favorite fighter of all time.
So I probably picked up on the train and watched Anderson Silva not in his early days, but when like you said, he came in and boom, he was popular.
Yeah.
He was such a cocky bastard, and I hated that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't like that, because I'm over at my friend Brandon's house. We all watch UFC at the house, and we have people come over. And I'm at Brandon's house, and I'm thinking, me and Carrie are there, and we're just thinking, no, we weren't at Brandon's house. We were at Troy's house. And we're over there, and we all make bets and what's going to happen. And I understand Silva's going to be. It was Chael Sonnen, right? No, it was that
he fought Chael Sonnen.
Point. Did he break his leg with Chael Sonnen? Look that up real quick. Okay, so anyway, he's getting ready to fight, and we're thinking, Anderson Silva's going to handle him, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I want the other guy because I don't like Anderson Silva. And he was kind of like that. He was like Muhammad Ali, like cocky, but then he was like more. It was more. No, it wasn't. That guy, yeah.
I don't know who that is. I don't know.
The name will come to me. I'm horrible. We're doing a UFC podcast, and we don't know the guy's name. I feel horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, he starts fighting. We go, and it was not even seconds. 30 seconds into the fight, and he swing Chris Weidman.
Dang, that's right.
That other knot hole. Anyway, he goes to throw that kick, and it snaps. And we're not talking like, oh, you don't understand, you didn't know it was snapped, and we're guessing, because a lot of times you're watching fights and you feel like somebody broke their leg, or somebody broke their hand or their toe. Like I remember watching Jones fight, right? John Jones,
and ripped his toe off.
Ripped his toe off, and you're like, is it or is it not?
Yeah.
And anyway, it was really funny because when he broke his leg, it was obvious that thing kicked Weidman. Weidman goes to check,
right,
and he kicks, and that leg wrapped around.
Yeah.
And then it fell down like Jello.
Oh, yeah.
We all about threw up.
Yeah.
Because it was so graphic. And from that point on, I loved Anderson Silva. I wanted that dude to come back.
Oh, sure.
Because I disliked Chris Weidman so much that I wanted Anderson Silva to come back and beat his ass.
Oh, yeah.
I did. I liked Anderson over that. And he hasn't been the same.
Sure.
He got in trouble for I believe marijuana. I believe he got in trouble for PEDs because he was trying to get his leg to heal faster so he could come back faster.
Sure.
And when he tested in MMA or UFC sanction stuff said, no, sorry. And I think that's a little bit of why it took George St. Pierre to come back so much, because they let Anderson come back and fight. He did lose, but you were just like really like on the edge of your seat. Like, is he going to throw that kick and somebody's going to check it and it's going to break again?
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. Yep. Favorite fight. Is there a memorable fight from the past that you can recall that you would dub as your favorite fight of all time?
I know if I asked my wife this, she'd go to the Forrest Griffin fight, where Forrest Griffin and what's his face bloodied their faces. Who did Forrest fight? That he had such a bloody face. Oh, that was a heck of a fight. When you say his name, I'm gonna know. He's like a Forrest Griffin, and I can see it. It was pretty memorable.
Not Ortiz, was it?
No.
Franklin?
Here you go, Rich Franklin.
Rich Franklin.
Yeah, they bloodied their thing. So she says Stephan Bonner. Carrie says Stephan Bonner hands down is your favorite fighter. Carrie, is that what you're saying? I am reading my comments. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. I'm looking at them too.
Or was it Stephan Bonner and Rich Franklin, or who was the fight? No. Okay, you're not making any sense. What are you saying? Stephan Bonner is your favorite fighter of all time? We're waiting for the comments to catch up, folks.
Yeah.
He fought Forrest Griffin. Oh, okay. So Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner fought, and it was like they called it like World War III or something like that.
Sure.
Thank you, Carrie, for helping us out. See, I was like, Carrie should come on and help us out and do this.
Yeah.
So I would say she would say that was her. She would say hands down. She does say hands down best fight. Right here. So, man, if I had to pick a fight, do you have your fight in mind?
I do.
Okay, tell me your fight.
My favorite fight of all time is a throwback to the early days of UFC.
Okay.
It was against a guy named Marco Huas.
Okay.
And then this big, massive guy who they just pulled off the streets, and they were calling him like Snow Bear or Polar Bear.
Okay.
That's what his nickname was. Marco Huas was, man alive. Marco Huas was 5 foot something. And big country Roy Nelson. But Marco Huas was tiny, a very tiny man. And Polar Bear was massive, huge dude. I mean, well over 6 foot something. I mean, he outweighed this man by 100 something pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in the earlier days, there was no weight class.
Right.
Marco Huas beat Polar Bear. And Marco Huas was such a practitioner in martial arts, he made up his own martial art. And it was called the Huas method or Huas technique, right? And it was basically a combination between kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. And so this guy invented his own martial arts, took it to the UFC, fought this behemoth man, and the way that he beat him, he was the first person in the UFC to consistently do leg checks against a ginormous opponent, and he basically cut him down like a tree. There were times where Polar Bear got him up against the cage, and they were like flat up against the cage, and Huas was stomping on his feet, hurt this guy's toes, and the moment he broke away, started chipping at his legs. Right? Leg check. And then eventually the guy fell on the ground. Huas gets on top of him, beats him. But they went 3 rounds or so of just nothing but leg checks. And this guy's leg was insane. But Huas had such technique. I was so impressed with that fight. You know what I mean? I mean, to just say, hey, I made up my own martial arts. You know what I mean? And I'm going to beat this guy in a professional fight with it, you know? Anyways, yeah.
So Carrie says, I'm literally screaming at my phone as you stutter, trying to find the fighters and answers to your questions. This is so infuriating. I know. I told you to come here and do this with us because you're really smart about all this. Okay, so I was looking back because I was trying to. I know what fight I had in mind that was my favorite, but I had to go back and find out who he fought. And so my favorite fight was Big Country Roy Nelson. Now he debuted on one of Dana White's Ultimate Fighter.
Yep.
Let's do this thing, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, he fights. Okay, so he gets put in 2014 at a fight night. It's not a UFC pay-per-view.
Yep.
It's nothing as crazy. And he's gonna go fight Antonio Nogueira.
Yeah.
Okay, so Big Nog.
Yep.
And we're thinking, really?
Yeah.
Nog's gonna knock him out. And Nog has a huge, huge heavy hand.
Yep.
And has knocked out some of the biggest names. And Big Country beat him.
Yeah.
And he got hit so hard that he got knocked back into the fence.
Yeah.
Several times, not once or twice. I wish I could throw up a clip, but we probably don't have the rights to do that. And but I was just so impressed. I loved it because we're back there screaming to this big fat dude with this big beard, and he just doesn't care. And he just fought. And I loved his enthusiasm. I kind of disliked him when he first started on Ultimate Fighter. And then I kind of grew to love him because he kind of just was like, look, I really don't care if you guys train hours in the day. I'm a good fighter. God put me here to be a good fighter. And that's it. That's all that I'm going to say. And he did. He went out there and showed it. And it was frustrating because there was a couple fights he got and he did get caught.
Mm-hmm.
He was never knocked out.
No.
Ever. Never knocked down really either. I think there was a couple where he got hit and he went to his knee but got right back up. But that probably was my all-time favorite fight.
Yeah.
And just because, like I said, you're looking at Big Nogueira, and he's well known in the UFC, and he should handle this guy like, why is he even getting a shot? And Roy knocks him out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Big Country. Lots of love to Roy Nelson. That man, yeah, I was the same. See, because I saw him on Ultimate Fighter, and I was like, dude, what the heck? Like, because one of his fights, literally, he laid on top of the man with his stomach.
What did they call? Oh, I can't remember what they call that.
It wasn't a crucifix. He just laid across his upper chest and then just started beating the guy. And he was just so big, the guy couldn't get out. And so he's just pummeling his face and beating the guy to unconsciousness because he was so fat, and just laid his gut across the guy's chest and just beat him.
And I want to say that that's the fight that I was like, really, dude, this is what you're bringing.
Yeah.
Dana White picked you.
Yeah.
Like, what is, and then, like I said, then after that, it was just like, okay, maybe he's growing on me.
Yeah. What I really enjoyed about that though, is that as he continued on into the UFC, Dana White didn't like him.
Yeah.
Just didn't like him. Because so much of his stuff was messy, but it worked.
Oh yeah.
It worked well.
There was nothing orthodox about that dude.
Exactly.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Carrie, what's your favorite UFC fighter of all time? She does not know.
Michael Bisping.
Okay, so this kind of goes off topic. We kind of talked about what we wanted to do. Kind of our little agenda.
Yeah.
Have you ever met a professional UFC fighter?
Oh man, have I? No, I've met a lot of local circuit fighters, right?
Yeah.
Just throughout the years, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever met a pro fighter, like UFC fighter. However, I do have a cousin that was bodyguard. He got involved. He started working for a security company or whatever, but as a bodyguard. And he rolled with Anderson Silva for a while.
Nice.
As one of his security detail or whatever. So I don't know how long he did that for, but my cousin's huge.
Have you ever been to a professional UFC fight?
I haven't, but I've always wanted to.
We'll go.
Okay. We should go, and then we should live stream Time Out with Michael there and see if they can hear us.
You can't. I tried to live stream a UFC fight, and I got shut down real fast.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not even kidding, shut down fast.
Man,
it was,
dumb.
Let's see. I'm going to put this. Hey, Carrie, is it okay if Hey, Midlife Vibes, Josh and Becky. How are you? We're talking UFC tonight. Yeah, Carrie says GSP. Carrie, is it okay if I share your photo of UFC, famous UFC? Say yes, say no. So we went and watched UFC in Denver, where it was first there.
Yeah.
We got to hold the championship belt.
Wow.
And we're going into the trailer to meet Dwayne Bang Ludwig. And
you actually met Bisping.
oh, shh.
Oh, sorry.
So we get to the trailer and we're gonna meet Dwayne Bang Ludwig,
Okay.
who at the time had the fastest knockout in UFC.
Yes.
At like 5 seconds, 4
Yeah.
seconds, something like that. And Brendan Schwab. He was an NFL player, and he went into Ultimate Fighter. So we got to meet those guys, and we see this UFC fighter talking over on so I'm going to pull it up here. So we see this UFC fighter talking like on the newscast, and he starts coming over to the trailer where you're going, and there's this long line. I'm talking it's like 45 minutes to an hour to wait to get in line to meet Brendan Schaub and Dwayne Bang. And we get to the front of the trailer, and Michael Bisping starts walking towards us. Now, this is Carrie's 40th birthday.
Yeah.
And it was a big surprise for her to go see UFC. And Michael Bisping comes in, and she just grabs him. Hey, can I have a picture with you? And is an English accent. Oh yeah, come on. I can't do an English accent, but she gets over there, and I mean, you can see right here on her face, like she was so like,
yeah.
Oh, let's blow it up even bigger. Can we blow it? There we go.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
And it was so cool that she was able to meet him.
Yeah.
Highlight of her life.
Yeah.
My life. I mean, I was like, hey, let me snap the picture.
Yeah.
And he was like totally cool. I always thought Bisping was a jack wagon.
Sure.
I have better words, but
yeah.
Anyway, that was our little thing.
That's awesome.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me share that, Carrie. So anyway, we'll go check it out.
Yeah, we should do that. Yeah,
we've been to a couple. We've been to 2 fight nights, and a mainstream pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, we're going to, with all this, I mean, obviously, UFC 246 is this weekend, and the main card is Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone, Cowboy.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about the prelim card.
Yeah. And we can go kind of quickly over this because there's really, there's a lot of no-namers in it too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of,
and this is how, this is really how the no-namers get to know their people, how we get to know people.
Oh yeah.
So we'll go over this.
Yeah, Chaz Skelly versus Grant Dawson. Have you ever seen either one of these guys fight?
Nope. I've
seen Grant Dawson, but I don't remember anything about him. And Chaz Skelly looks like my old neighbor. So
Chaz is 17-4, and Grant is 13-1. Doesn't look like there's a height advantage or reach advantage, really,
or weight advantage, or leg reach advantage. These guys are pretty square.
They are.
Yeah.
Looks like they're both submission people.
Yep. Holy cow! 71% of his fights.
Yeah, 56. Looks like Grant's got a little bit more time,
but it doesn't say how many fights they've had. Yes, it does. Never mind. Up top,
14 fights for Grant. Tony,
let me just do that math
here.
I got a head cold, man.
And Chaz has 21.
We'll take that out in post.
We don't edit.
I know. I was going to say what post.
Yeah. Significant strikes. There you go. Obviously, that's what's going on there.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
That's the first prelim fight that we have up.
Yeah. Who are you going forward with that one?
I'm probably going to go with Grant just because he's got more significant strikes. I like a striker.
Yeah.
I do like the ground game, but
yeah. So I will put my vote in for Dawson because I scrolled down just a little bit further and his takedown accuracy is 54%, and his takedown defense is 50%, and the other guys is in the 30% range.
Yeah.
And he's apparently throwing every 15 minutes 6 takedowns. So
he's gonna be a heavier guy.
Yeah. All right, next one. Who do we
I'm gonna get the easy one, Drew Dauber, and you have
Nasrat Hakpararast.
I kind of thought maybe with the beard you knew that. That was
sorry.
It looks like Drew is the senior veteran here with almost 30 fights. Nazaret's only got 12.
Yeah.
Nazaret's got a 2-inch height advantage, 2-inch reach advantage, and a heck of a leg reach advantage, 6 inches.
Yeah, man.
So that's pretty big. Both going to be strikers, but more a submission on Drew, and decisions going with Drew as well.
Yep.
Looks like Nazaret has fought longer, so that could mean that Drew is going to finish his fight a little faster.
Possibly.
Excuse me. Significant strikes. Obviously, it looks like Nazaret lands more and has more of a better percentage of significant strikes. 46 to 39.
Yeah.
But absorbed. Looks like Drew's taking more beating, and looks like Nazaret doesn't work.
Way better defense.
Yeah. Grappling is a little bit. I mean, they're obviously not grapplers.
Sure.
So who do you got?
Who do I got? Gosh, I don't know. I'm a little torn. I might go with Nasrat just purely because he has a beard. And for no other reason.
Going with Nazaret too, just because he has a beard. That was what I was going to go after. Absolutely. Becky and Josh, yes, that smile on Carrie when she saw Bisping, I love seeing it. It's in my mind etched. I'll never forget that. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Next matchup is Andre Philly
versus Sodik Yusuf.
That could go so many ways.
I know.
Now I've seen Sodik fight.
Have you?
And he's amazing.
Is he really?
2 or 3 cards ago, I think he fought that we watched him, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
I really like. I don't even have to look at the stuff, and I'm going after Sodik.
Really? Yeah.
KOs 60% on Sodik, and Andre's got 45. Same in the decision. Looks like Andre's got a little bit more submission.
Yeah. Landed per minute, significant strike, 50%. That's good.
Yeah, Sodik's he's a striker. See, I like strikers.
Equal defense, 0 grappling, takedown, well, none. Takedown defense, 100% takedown defense.
That's good.
That's way good. Yeah, that guy's a serious striker. But man, 100% takedown defense.
Pretty good.
That's way good.
Who you got?
Sodik, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time on Sodik, I think, is who I would go with.
Yeah. All right. Who do we got next?
Roxanne Modafferi.
Yep. And then versus Macy Barber.
Now, Macy Barber was an up-and-coming girl. Excuse me. And she is ranked 9th right now.
Yeah.
Roxanne is 7th. I've seen Macy fight, and I think she's great. I probably, again, without looking at stats right now, I would take Macy.
Yeah.
Roxanne looks a little bit more. She can have a reach advantage by 4 inches. She's got 2 inches on the height, only 2 inches on the leg kick.
Yeah.
But Macy is gonna come out striking.
Right.
And I think Roxanne is more of a submission person. But yeah. Average fight time for Roxanne is 15, so it looks like she goes the distance. Macy just takes care of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Roxanne is more of like a sustained fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, 61% of her fights go to decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's probably not heavy-handed. She's not doing, much on the ground. It's more of for points.
Yeah.
You know.
She lets it go to decision.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty
Bad.
much.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, lands per minute. Macy's at 8 and Roxanne's only at 3.
Yeah.
Defense is about the same. A little more on Roxanne's part. Macy's got 100% takedown defense.
Yep.
No submissions on Macy's. Yeah, like I said, she's a boxer. She's
Right.
she's a striker. Takedown average 1. I mean, she does. Looks like she does do some takedowns. So
Yeah. Takedown defense, 100%. I think you just said that. Who do you got?
Macy.
Macy. Yeah, I'm gonna go Macy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the prelims. For those of you that don't watch UFC very often, this is kind of what they do. They do an early prelim, which is usually like on a. They've been doing like a Yahoo streaming live.
Yeah.
And then they do the prelims. You can usually see those on Fox 1. It's not Fox Sports 1 anymore. It's ESPN because ESPN took the rights for UFC. So you'll see those on ESPN. And then you have to do ESPN Plus or UFC.com, the app, and to get the actual fight to watch that on pay-per-view now. It's really not a pay-per-view. You go to all the streaming stuff, ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
First matchup on the main card is Anthony Pettis and Diego Ferreira.
Yeah. This is going to be a good fight.
I actually didn't even know Anthony was fighting this card, so this kind of excites me.
Yeah.
Who do you got without looking?
Without looking, Anthony Pettis. I am an Anthony Pettis fan. Diego is good. I've seen him fight once or twice. He's quick. But yeah, Anthony Pettis his comebacks in a fight are amazing. I love that. I love when the guys that I like win.
Yeah.
But I also love when the guys that I like are all points aside, are losing. You know what I mean? And they push through and land a knockout when you're not expecting it, kind of. You know what I mean? I absolutely love that in a fight.
Now, just so you know, on this fight, really evenly matched and same on the weight. There is no advantage on the weight. 155 straight up.
Yep.
So don't worry about that. That's a good thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Win percentage. So KOs and TKOs. Anthony Pettis, obviously, he loves that Showtime. I mean, that's why he's Showtime.
Exactly.
He has some really good submissions, but he's about the knockout.
Yeah.
Isn't Anthony Pettis Showtime? Jump off the fence and punch you. Superman punch off the fence.
He'll jump off the fence and punch you, but he's also the one in that famous clip who ran up the side of the cage with a spinning roundhouse and kicked that guy in the mouth. And what I hate about that clip is it wasn't a knockout.
Yeah.
If that was a knockout, that would have been dubbed like the greatest knockout of all time. You know.
So you want to know the greatest knockout of all time?
Which one?
Mink and we got to go back and look at who the fighters were because I couldn't even tell you who they were.
Okay.
But we're in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
And we're down on the floor watching UFC.
Yeah.
And the guy is supposed to be the winner, and he's got it. And this guy comes in like with the fence, flailing arms like this.
Right.
And he like turns with an elbow and catches this guy on the chin. 459 in the 5th round and knocks him out cold.
Dang.
And we sat there. And I don't know how long they had it on break or show or whatever. And we were there a good 15 minutes before they revived that dude.
Yeah.
Like he was out cold 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That's amazing.
I think that's the best knockout of all time. But I don't think it made best knockout.
I will have to say, I think one of the best knockouts of the decade is that George Masvidal against Ben Askren. We were at your house when that fight happened. Oh my gosh. If you've never seen that clip, go YouTube that clip. It's dubbed. I mean, because it was 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds.
Yeah. Because it beat.
Yeah. Bell rang. He ran in and caught that knee and lights out. Game over.
We all just sat there on the couch. Just so you know, we're like, what happened?
No, that was amazing. That was amazing. All right. So yes, we went through the win buys. Significant strikes. Landed per minute. I mean, it's a pretty even spread,
So
man.
when we look at this landed per minute, Anthony Pettis is really good about selecting his strikes. He is not somebody that just goes in there and just wants 1,000 strikes. He wants 100 strikes, and he wants them to be significant strikes. What you look on here, he's about 45% on his significant strikes. He's looking for that, and he has that one again. Showtime. He wants to do something. Diego, it looks like he lands a lot of strikes.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is watching some of his previous fights. He's filling the fighter out, which is why I think his land per minute is up there. Diego or Anthony already knows who he's got.
Yep.
Grappling wise, they're pretty even.
Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, takedown accuracy, I mean, it's going to be in Pettis' favor, right? But the defense, though, right? Almost 70% takedown defense. That's really good, too, that on Diego's end.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a good fight. I'm excited for that. I got Pettis, man.
You got Showtime?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Diego.
Yeah.
Okay. I got Diego.
All right.
Next fight.
Claudia Gadelha and Alexa Grasso.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you very familiar with either one of these?
Not really. I feel like I know Alexa, but I don't know Claudia.
I've seen Claudia like twice, but that's it.
One's from Brazil, one's from Mexico, so they're close.
Yeah.
Good on weight. 115. Yeah. In their bra.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
Oh man.
It looks like Alexa's got a 3-inch reach advantage. She's got a 5.5-inch leg advantage, but she's only about 1 inch on her height.
Yeah. They're going to be pretty even. Wins by knockout 36%, decision 64%.
And I mean, when you look at this column here that I have up on the screen, for those of you watching the live, submissions, decisions, KOs, you obviously know that Claudia comes from a Brazilian background. So her submissions and decisions are going to be higher than her striking.
Yeah.
Just because I bet she comes from a Brazilian jiu-jitsu background.
Yeah.
Most of those Brazil people do.
Yeah.
Not trying to label anybody.
Yeah. But you immediately, whenever you have somebody that's a ground fighter, like, the majority of the folks from Brazil, you immediately want to look at their opponent's ability to resist the takedown.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy when you have somebody with stats like Claudia, and then they are up against somebody who has like 12% takedown, ability. But yeah,
significant strikes landed per minute. Alexa is higher. Claudia is a little bit lower. And I'm going to guess, again, just because Brazilian jiu-jitsu background, significant strikes, they're about even, 40%. Absorbed per minute, about this, Claudia's absorbing a little more. Defense-wise, about the same.
Yeah.
When you get to the grappling, obviously right here, takedowns per minute, 3 from Claudia's, barely even a quarter of the time from Alexa.
Yep.
She's going to be a striker.
Oh yeah.
But even when you look at that, Claudia, takedown accuracy 47 and Alexa's 50s, it's not something you would think her takedown accuracy would be a lot more.
Yeah. But, and that very well could be from, fence presses.
Yeah.
Right. Getting them up, just grabbing and pressing them against the fence, tripping them up and falling. Right?
Absolutely. Submission average.
Yeah.
Obviously higher with Claudia.
Yep. Who you going?
They both have long hair. They're both wearing black. They're both really muscly. Claudia.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And then after the event this weekend, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to tally up, like, which ones we got right and which ones we didn't.
So now I'm taking a page out of my wife's book.
Okay.
And, just roll her eyes at me. There's times when she doesn't know about some things in sports.
Yeah.
And of course I come from a big sports background, and my wife knows a lot of sports because I talk a lot of sports.
Sure.
But she always like, oh, well, the team is green. I like that team, or the
Yeah.
team has a really good name.
Sure.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So that's, I was weighing those girls out.
Yeah.
Next fight.
Yeah. Wow. This guy's record. I'm not familiar with the Russian guy. Alexei Olenek versus Maurice Green. Maurice. I don't know why I mispronounced
Maurice Green.
Yeah. 57-12.
The Crockett boss? Is that what it says? The
What?
crochet boss?
The boa constrictor and the crochet boss.
I don't know what to think about that.
Like what?
So
The
now that
crochet
Olenek has lost as many times as Maurice has fought.
Yeah. That's an impressive record.
57-12-1 if you're not watching the live stream and
Yeah.
listening. And 1 no contest. Guy's out of Russia, and he's got a serious height disadvantage, 5 inches.
Yeah.
He's got a 53-pound disadvantage. He's got a 2-inch reach disadvantage and only a 1-inch leg reach disadvantage.
Yeah.
So Maurice could be towering over this guy, but he's a Russian, so scary.
Wow, I would not have suspected this. Look at the win buys. Look at the stats on Alexei. 57 wins and 79% of those are submissions.
Wow. Out of a Russian.
Now
he's wrestling, so he's going to be a wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Big time on the submissions there. Okay.
Wow.
They're both pretty even on that whole section there.
Yeah.
So, Aliski has got obviously a little bit more.
Oh yeah. And experience alone. Right.
He's the elder.
He's the elder here. He's man alive.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Maurice has less hair. I'm going to be teasing you all weekend about that.
That's all right.
Grappling, obviously, you can see right there. He's going to come from a Russian wrestling background. Takedown defense is nothing. Wow.
With a record like that, though,
57-12-1. Yeah, he's getting tired.
Yeah. Submission average every 15 minutes. Two and a half submissions.
Yeah.
He gives up on that last sleeper halfway through.
I'm done.
He's like, I'm good. So who do you got in this fight, man?
Maurice. I got Maurice, the crochet boss.
I'm going for Alexei purely because he looks like your just average dad.
He does.
Like, he doesn't look like he's a fighter. He looks like he's an accountant or, a foreman, maybe, for a construction site. Or
I'm actually thinking Russian police, but they all look the same.
They do.
All right. The co-main event is going to be awesome.
This is going to be good.
Really, really good. Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington.
Yep.
Both seen both of these girls fight.
Yep.
Obviously, Holly held the belt for a minute, and then she lost it.
Right.
And I think Holly is a solid fighter. I think she gets. To me, I feel like she lets the best get to her. That's really how I honestly feel about her.
Yep. So without going through the stats, who are you going for? Who's your pick on the two?
Without going through the stats.
Yeah.
This is hard because I like both of them.
Yeah.
Well, I was really excited when Holly beat Ronda.
Oh, of course.
So I'm going to stick with Holly.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Holly Holm. I'm a Holly Holm fan.
And this is weird because I don't like blondes.
Yeah.
Whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
12 fights, 10 fights, 17, 18. They're about the same. No height, weight, reach, leg advantage of any things like that. Obviously, Holly, we know she's a knockout queen.
Yep.
And Raquel I think Raquel's more of an all-around fighter. Holly is going to be she's got some good ground. It's not amazing. And I think that was the big thing that they thought Ronda was going to come in and just submit her.
Right.
But that's where I think Ronda was going into later in her career. I know I can submit everybody. I want to stand up and, you know, Holly took advantage of that. She's a hell of a boxer.
She's a fantastic boxer.
Does she not? I feel like she trained with Freddie Roach, but I could be wrong.
Maybe.
Seems like I've seen the Diaz brothers in her corner before.
Possibly. But
Raquel, again, like I said, you look at it TKO wise, she's not a thrower, she's not a striker, she's all around. She's letting a lot of stuff go to decision.
Yeah.
60%.
I don't like fighters all that much that majority of their fights go to decision. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, just me personally. I don't know. I like to see more action out of the fighters, and sometimes you can't help it, right? I mean, sometimes it just goes. There
are times,
but when the majority of your fights are that,
I think your biggest thing right there, with a lack of my enthusiasm with George St. Pierre late in his career.
Yeah,
he didn't try, but he didn't have to. But again, I want you to try, man. I know you're great.
Yeah,
but try, please.
Yeah,
that was bad for me.
Yep, significant strikes. Let's see. 2, 3. I mean, they're pretty square across the board, man.
They really are. Raquel's got significant strikes more, but I think she's got more with that because she's throwing more, and Holly is going to, she's going to pop one, which is weird because I still feel like Raquel's more of a rounded fighter, striking, takedown.
Sure.
As far as that goes.
Yeah. I think that's fair to say.
Grappling. Obviously, again, Holly is not that person. Takedown defense is 78%, though. She's good at that. Takedown accuracy is 30. Raquel's 28. Obviously, Raquel is submitting more than Holly.
Yeah,
but she's a striker.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting fight. I think it'll be really good. And then also, before we jump over to the McGregor and the Cerrone, let's jump over to the Facebook real quick, and because we got a handful of people that are chiming in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. I just noticed too. Austin said, "Is this the actual fight?" No, it's not. We're just going through the cards for this weekend. We're talking about MMA in general, going through and just kind of giving our votes to who it is that we think is going to win or come out on top, or who's going to die in the ring. We're never going to see them again.
Yeah. With that being said, hey, we landed a big sponsor, and we want to give that to you guys. So seatgiant.com.
Yep.
They put out and asked us if we would did you make a banner? Yeah, I'll do a banner.
Yeah.
Tell them what. So Seat Giant decided that they wanted to reach out to us and ask us if we would allow them to be a sponsor. We didn't seek these guys out; they kind of sought us out.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. They work through the U.S. and Canada.
Canada. Canada.
But they seatgiants.com. No, it's Seat Giant. I better fix that.
Yeah, you should do that.
They are a sponsor. But seatgiant.com, they are our big sponsor.
Yep.
And so if you like sporting events like Real Salt Lake, anything like that, stuff down at the Vivint Smart Home Arena, the Pepsi Center in Denver. I know we have some people in California, so anything down there, Texas listeners, pretty much anything that you want to grab, you can go to seatgiant.com, find the event that you want to go to, and in their promo code, put in timeout, and you will get a heck of a deal from seatgiant.com. They are our big sponsor for Timeout with Michael and Tony, and we want to thank them so very much for giving us an opportunity to just further things. So it's really cool. It's helping us move into the world of, one day we're going to be like Joe Rogan Experience podcast.
Yeah.
Bald. Bald. And having a great time.
Yeah, man.
So yes, use promo code timeout at SeatGiant.com, and you will get a extra little incentive off of your tickets. I've searched through a couple of their things and seen some really cool things.
Yep.
Not everything's going to land what you want, but hey, it's extra. It's something that you can use. We go to a lot of events, and it's not just concerts. I mean, you can go to MMA, you can go to basketball, football, music events, concerts, motocross, monster trucks. Those are all the things that I've seen on there.
Midget tossing, goat roping. I mean, you name it, right?
Now, when you do that, also go to redbubble.com and type in Timeout with Michael and Tony, and you can find some of our merch now, which is really cool. I should throw that up there, huh?
Yeah.
Let me get to that real quick.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, we've got merch. We've got everything from hoodies to coffee cups to tramp stamp. I'm just kidding. This is just an ongoing joke. But we've got a lot of merch, and you guys should check it out, and you should buy our stuff because it's good stuff. And we'll come out with more stuff in the future, different brands for things and all that good stuff. So
yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, things are moving. Things are taking off. Things are moving. It'll be good. It'll be way good.
This is what I love about StreamYard too, is I can just jump in here, find what we need so we can share with everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to that. I apologize. I'm going to go to the big screen so everybody can see that on there. Okay, so you go here, you go to redbubble.com, you come up into this little search bar, you do timeout with, you can, I'm just going to do timeout with, and it pulls it up. And right here, obviously you can see our little logo. You click on that. And what they bring out right now is an art print. I'm going to go to the section where it has more stuff. Obviously, there you go, Tony. You can see all those fun things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here you go. T-shirts, lightweight hoodies. You can do a long T-shirt if you are an extra tall person. Slim fit for you skinny boys and girls. My personal favorite right here is the baseball 3/4 sleeve. I love these shirts. I don't know why.
They're awesome.
I like them.
Yeah.
Just a premium shirt, which is going to be a little bit more better fabric. There was a tri-blend. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, tri-blend. This T-shirt's really cool right here. It's got like a black and gray hue to it. So it's got a different colors. It's not just a straight black or white or red. You can obviously choose different things there. Tank tops. You can do a iPad cover. You can do a phone cover. And you can do any phone you want. This is a little case thing there. That's pretty cool. Laptop skins. You can do a framed print. You can do a clock, a coffee mug, a poster. I mean, there's really a lot of cool things that Redbubble has offered us to do. Notebooks, postcards, pillows, travel mug. There's a lot. Water bottle. You can do a scarf, a zipper pouch, a tote bag for your groceries. And then there's the stickers, Tony. I apologize that unfortunately the tramp stamp did not make the cut.
I'm quitting.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But check that out on redbubble.com. You can go on there, type in Timeout with Michael, and it will pull it up. And I mean, they're reasonably priced too. Stickers are like $3. A lot of people are into working out and water bottles. So here's the water bottle, $18.88. Pretty cool. You can change. You can't change anything on this one. Let me go back. I know you can change the color on some things. You can buy 2 and save money. And look, I'm going to be like completely honest with you. We don't make a ton of money off of this. But we will retire in Fiji and what do you figure? 97 years?
Yeah.
I think it was somewhere right around there. We want you guys to sport our stuff. I mean, we don't want to break the bank and retire. So way cool. So you can have the print on the front or you can have it on the back. And so it'll put it on the back of the shirt if that's what you prefer, or the front. Sizes, look, $25 for a shirt, tri-blended shirt. That's pretty normal. And you can do different colors as well. You can do a blue. You can do a red. Boom. So there's a lot of options out there, folks. We are working on another design with just has our logo without the words, and it will be probably just a black instead of the blue. We'll do a black so it throws out. I mean, because like if you go to like this one doesn't really mesh well. Maybe it does for you. To me, it aesthetically didn't really work for me on the green. So we're working on with Redbubble to do a different, just more of a black outline logo, so it'll match up a little bit better. But super cool. Totally excited about that.
Yep.
This is what the shirt looks like backwards. You know, there it is forward. I mean, it's great. Check out our merch. We appreciate it.
Yep. I put a link in the Facebook chat as well. So if you want to go buy everything tonight, go ahead.
When my husband says 30-minute podcast tonight, Carrie, sir, does that mean
I didn't say 30-minute podcast
does
tonight.
Michael do this to you? Kayla, she knows it. We tried to keep it down, but I went a little over because of the merch. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
And the sponsors. Let's get to it.
Yep.
So
we got the last one. The main event itself. Conor McGregor versus the Cowboy, Donald Cerrone.
Let me get to it. There it is. There you go. The notorious Conor McGregor and the Cowboy. Who do you got?
I got McGregor.
I'm so torn with this because after St. Pierre retired,
yes,
I went with Conor McGregor and Cerrone as my two fighters. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I liked Conor for a minute, and then I was like, you got too cocky. You got too money hungry.
Yeah.
And I wasn't happy with that. Yeah, and I love Donald. He fights out of Denver. So that's way cool. It's close to our region here in Evanston, Wyoming.
Yeah.
So reach advantage goes to Donald. Height advantage goes to Donald by 2 inches. Reach advantage goes to Conor with 1. Leg advantage 0.5. I mean, that's gonna his toes are longer.
Yep.
Longer toes. So you have Conor.
I do.
I have seen Conor. So we talked about this. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I went and looked at his training regimen since he's coming back. Oh wow,
dude!
Holy cow,
he's
this dude
looking
looks
good,
legit.
man. Yeah,
I'm excited for the weigh-ins to see. That always tells me really what a fighter's going to do by the weigh-ins to me.
Right.
And I'm excited to see what he's going to look like on that weigh-in.
Yep. 100%. 100%. I'm way excited for this fight. Conor looks great. Cowboy looks great, and it's dude, it's going to be a good fight.
She says, "I always see you in 2 hours."
Yeah.
She knows me. I apologize. I mean, I'm trying to go long.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got win buys. Conor McGregor, 86% of his wins are KOs. Yeah. And yeah, Cowboy's got a nice balance.
He is a balanced fighter. Conor, we know he wants the big show knockout. That's what he's looking for.
Yep.
He's not about decision. And I think he's got a little bit of decision on him, but ground game, it's not great. Significant strikes, they like to throw. Both of them. Doesn't matter if they're landing or if they're whatever, they like to throw. About 50% on significant strikes, but they like to throw. Again, both of them are absorbing as many punches as they're putting out.
Yep.
And their defense is about 50%, 50-50.
Yep.
Grappling, obviously Donald is going to have more of an edge on here. Takedown accuracy is more on Conor just because I think he takes down less. I think that's why his is so big.
Right.
Takedown defense, they both have good takedown defense. They don't get taken down a lot. And of course, Donald's going to have Conor doesn't have any submissions. He's a straight up throw. I'm going to knock you out. I hate you.
Yep.
But that's the Ireland mentality, the Irish mentality.
Right. It's that Irish blood.
It is. And there you go. UFC 246. I can't believe it's already 246.
I know.
That is crazy to even think about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So
it's
some
gonna be
big news for us. It's huge. We got some sponsors. Shell, Arjun, go see him. He'll hook you up with some Hershey stuff. Seat Giants, put in the promo code timeout. You'll get some good stuff.
Yep.
Kayla says McGregor is going to demolish him.
Yeah. That's what I'm feeling.
Carrie, who you got in this fight?
Yeah.
McGregor or the Cowboy? She likes both of them. I know she does. It's hard when you like two fighters. So McGregor is going to demolish him. Yeah, he sure is.
Yep.
I think so.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I can't wait for this fight.
It's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah.
Thank you again to Drama City Productions. Thank you to SeatGiant.com. Thank you to Shell and Evanston. And we are Michael and Tony, and we appreciate everything that you guys have done. We love that you listen to our podcast. I'm excited with what's going to go on. Oh, I messed it up.
It's all right. I'll just beatbox.
Boom, boom.
Boom, chicka, boom, 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 boom.
So we're going to get out of here. Hey, we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, Podbean, and everything in between. We like to do our live shows on Mondays and Saturdays. Is that what we've been doing?
That's what we've been aiming for.
Yeah.
But
We try to do it whatever we can. We thank you for listening. We try to put up our live stuff on those days. On our podcast, we try to put it up on Mondays and Wednesdays. We got a couple new series coming out. We're going to do a
we've got the work ethic one. We've got
social media,
career base, blended families. Yeah, we got a bunch.
We're gonna have guest spots once a month. Kind of how we get. I mean, we just don't want to go too crazy with that. But we'll have a guest spot every month. Try to do that. We are going to do a devotional. It's more on a religious thing for that. Me and Tony are both very. What is the word? What would you say?
Christian.
There's people out there. Oh, you're not Christian. No, I'm human. I'm definitely Christian. So we're gonna do something like that. It's gonna be a little quick snippet for all of you that might need a little extra help on that. I know I do every day. So we're gonna put something out like that. Hope you guys enjoy that segment of Time Out with Michael and Tony.
Yeah.
That's it. Right.
That's it.
Okay, I got to remember how to do all this. This is the hard part.
You just hit the big button that says goodbye.
Goodbye. See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye. Oh, wait, we're still live.
We're still live. We're doing it.
Hide.
Oh, I got one more.